Well, we first told you how the health secretary was shunted out over disagreements with the health minister Ghulam Nabi Azad. Today we are putting out another exclusive report about a big controversy in the UPA government where the centre tried to bypass the CVC to ensure that a bureaucrat Veerappa Moily wanted in his office stays on. Documents with Times Now reveal the massive dissent in the Petroleum Ministry over the controversial move.
As a former CVC, I can very clearly say it is a case where any appointment without CVC clearance, particularly for sensitive posts like this, is not proper. And it is not as if that if one person doesn't get an extension, things are going to collapse. It may be a Maharatna, but there are always a huge organization. There is a management cadre. There is a board of directors. There will be somebody who will be next in responsibility to take care of the interim period till the new CMD is appointed. Therefore, without the vigilance clearance, giving any extension is prima facie, I would say it is objectionable and should not be permitted at all. That's all I would say. Without vigilance clearance, no extension, nothing must be done. Yeah. No, I don't know the full details of the case or details of the vigilance case against the CMD, current CMD ONGC. The simple fact is that there is a procedure, there is authority, particularly for vigilance clearance at the level of the CVC. And so when you have a system in place, going against the system, especially in a sensitive situation like now where we are in an election mode, should be totally avoided. It is not as if an extension is not given, things will collapse or the management of the organization will be affected, because there are always standard procedures and the next in line in management who will take care of the day-to-day requirements. So without
Well, here's what we are putting out for you. We have documents that prove that there has been massive dissent in the Petroleum Ministry. It's a shocking development. Times Now, of course, has got documents to prove that the government is preparing to break the rules for a second time. In fact, for a second time, the government is trying to snub the CVC to push through a bureaucrat.
Yes, you're right. It will certainly raise a lot of eyebrows. And it falls very much in the pattern with which the modus operandi which this government has consistently adopted in appointing people on whom there are charges or on whom there are charges being leveled. Even when the documentary evidence, as you are able to show, are all available before them, they still persist with appointing or putting the names forward of such people on whom a vital organization like the CVC does not give clearance. And after that, taking the alibi of or the excuse of not having enough time, justifying the appointment and trying to go ahead with it. Particularly, as you point out, in the Navaratnas, which are large PSUs and have national interest also in them, especially oil, natural gas exploration and so on, appointing people with such a background cleverly is being concealed but raises a lot of questions. This is not at all acceptable. Yes, entirely pushing the decision onto the government so that let them take the call. And he's also indicated that since there's no time, you can seek cover under it and appoint. And the bureaucracy has done its job of highlighting that there is a problem, and they are clearly trying to distance themselves from the government's decision. And if you leave it at that, without the media watching, the government would also probably go ahead brazenly appoint such a person. And therefore, this falls repeatedly in the way in which this government has carried on appointing people, even on whom the CVC or the bureaucracy itself doesn't give clearance. The Cabinet Committee on Appointments, I think, should now, in the light of the expose that you've done with the evidences that you're showing, should think, is it necessary to cover up in the name or using the excuse of time